with your Mild Mannered Mage, and we are back with another episode of Breaking Boxes. And this month, Magic has been all about the return to Innistrad for Innistrad Remastered. And to help us to, celebrate it here on the channel, we have a play booster box of Innistrad Remastered. And this is Innistrad Remastered is a curated set that Wizards has put together. They've been doing these remastered sets for a while now. They've done Time Spiral, Dominaria, and Ravnica. And they're basically, what they're doing is they're pulling together all the related sets for the plane and curating a group of cards as it relates. So Innistrad involves about 7 different sets. The original Innistrad, the recent Midnight Hunt, Crimson Vow, and several others. And we're visited now by our Plains kitty, Finn, who has been trying to hunt on my desk today. So he is helping out today. Well, he'll probably be in and out of this video because he is relentless and doesn't know when I'm trying to do stuff. He just wants to do what he wants to and bite me. But yeah, so we also have, I think for the first time, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, we're also pulling some Commander products for this set. We've got the return of Edgar Markov, the OG Commander for Vampire Tribal. Not originally a Innistrad card, but they are calling him an Innistrad card. He was originally printed, I think it was in 2017. He has Eminence and was just part of that ridiculous set that came out. That was the same set that saw us bring the Dragon into being. So, with the purchase of this Innistrad Play Booster set, we also get Deadeye Navigator. So this was a bonus to buying this. Deadeye Navigator, 2 blue and 4. Soulbond Spirit for a 5/5. As long as Deadeye Navigator is paired with another creature, exile those each of those creatures has pay a blue and 1, exile this creature, then return it to the battlefield under your control. So this came with the set. So that was pretty nice. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into this box. There's a couple of great cards that we're hoping to see. Would love to see Edgar Markov. That would be a great pull from this. Meat Hook Massacre has been reprinted. Griselbrand is coming back, even though he's banned in my favorite format, Commander. Alright, there we go. And we'll just get into this. And here is one set. 2 sets. And, and I just knocked the camera. And of course, sent everything all wonky. So let me get that fixed. Okay, there we go. So we've got our 3 stacks. And how many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So 3 stacks of 12 for 36 cards. All right, so when we get back from the break, if I can get my chair fixed, when we get back from the break, we will be cracking into our first pack from Innistrad Remastered. Y'all hang tight, and we'll see you in a moment. And we are back with this episode of Breaking Boxes, and today we are breaking into a play booster box of Innistrad Remastered, and we've got 36 fresh packs ready and raring to go. And before we get started, don't forget to give us a like, give us a subscribe, turn on those notifications so that you know when the next video drops to help out this channel. And as a thank you for watching this, here are a couple of arena codes. And I certainly appreciate all the support that y'all are giving me in following this channel and watching these videos. I appreciate each and every single one of you. So hold each of these up a little bit higher. Again, don't forget to check out our other channels, our other shows on this channel. We have Breaking Boxes, this show, War Council, where I do some deck techs of some of my personal commander decks. Arena Antics, where I go through and play Arena and act like I know what I'm doing, as well as I need to record another one, Cardboard Review, where I get together with my buddy Mike and we just talk about upcoming Magic sets. So be sure to give those a gander. And just as a reminder, we did get this play booster box. Bought this from our friends over at Bazooka Games. So not a sponsor of the channel, but went and played Commander there on Friday night, so be sure to go and check them out. And just as a reminder, it did come with, whoops, helps if I don't drop the card, this foil Deadeye Navigator. Again, a spirit, 2 blue and 4 soulbound, so it pairs with a creature as it comes in. And as long as Deadeye Navigator is paired with another creature, each of those creatures has pay a blue and 1, exile this creature, then return it to the battlefield under your control. So that gives you a way to basically flicker your creatures and get any ETB effects over again. All right, now with all that out of the way, let's get into pack number 1. One thing that I've noticed about these remastered and even the master sets, the double masters, commander masters, what have you, these packs are always harder to get into than your regular ones. So we'll just kind of go through the commons. Alright. Spectral Shepherd. Burning Vengeance, Gyre Reach Bandit, into a Grave Crawler. So this is a great zombie card. 1 black mana, can't block. You may cast this card from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. You can get, if you've got some ETB effects and a Phyrexian Altar, sack it for a black, put it in your graveyard, recast it so long as you have a zombie for that black, and just a continual loop. So if you've got something that'll give you some good ETB effects, this is a really great card to cast over and over again. Into a Vile Spawn Spider. Really like this old art. And then another rare card, Rockfall Veil, for a land, enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. So foil on that. That is very nice. Great way to start this pack, or this box. 2 rares right off the bat, and then we've got our land and a token. And we'll just stick those off to the side. Pack number 2. Okay, there we go. Get through these comments. Join the Dance. Angel's Tomb. Howpack Resurgence. Into the White Blasphemous Act. Vanquish the Horde. Let's see if we can get this to focus a little bit better. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Destroy all creatures. For 2 white and 6. So this is a nice white wipe effect. Again, very similar to a Blasphemous Act, except instead of dealing 13 damage to everything, it's just going to destroy everything. Into the Youngest Wolf and a Spectral Shepherd. Alright. Pack number 3. Alright, Killing Wave, Valorous Stance, Graph Rat, so this is one of those melding ones. And our first mythic, Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. Black and 2 for Sorin Planeswalker. 4 loyalty. +1. Target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. If it's a vampire, put a +1/+1 counter on it. +1, you may sacrifice a vampire. When you do, Sorin deals 3 damage to any target you control, or to any target, and you gain 3 life. And then -3, you may put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Now, my only issue with this Sorin is that he's not the OG Sorin, because I feel like if you're going to do an Innistrad Remastered and you're going to use a Sorin Planeswalker, it needs to be the OG 3 black and 3 -3 target player's life becomes 10. Y'all know which Planeswalker I'm talking about, and I feel like this needs to be that one, not this one. And I guess they're going with this one just because of how well it pairs with Edgar Markov. That's my thoughts on it, but I don't know. I feel like it needs to be the OG one. Into a Neglected Heirloom. And a Silent Departure. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Am I wrong on that? Am I right? Tell me what you think. Because honestly, when I think of Sorin, that's the Planeswalker I think of. And then for our rare for this pack, we have a Shattered Sanctum. Very similar to that Rockfall Veil, except this one taps for black or for white. Enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. And then we have a Trixidecaphobia. Didn't realize that this wasn't a rare. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose 1. Each player with exactly 13 life loses the game, and you gain a life. And then each player with exactly 13 life loses the game, and then each player loses 1 life. That's pretty cool. And then an Archghoul of Thraben into a Forest and a Zombo. Alright, one more pack. Get through all of these. Hey, I already got the thing that does the thing. That makes a lot of sense, right? I know these are just uncommons, but the Graph Rats pairs with this Midnight Scavengers. When this creature enters, you may return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Melds with Graph Rats. Graph Rats at the beginning of combat on your turn. If you both own and control this creature and a creature named Midnight Scavengers, exile them and meld them into Chittering Host. So they turn into this Eldrazi Horror. Haste, Menace, and when this creature enters, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain Menace until end of turn. So there you go. So that is a pair that go together. Ooh, this is a good card. I use this in Commander a lot. Laboratory Maniac. If you draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game. Great in a lot of draw decks or in decks that will just inherently draw you a lot of cards. I use it to win in my Tulane Commander deck all the time. And here's another mythic for this box. Sigarda, Host of Herons. 2 white, green, and 2 flying hexproof. Spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents. Fantastic. And another rare, Henweir Garrison, red and 2. When its creature attacks, create 2 red human creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Very nice. And this will this is also a meld, and it melds with the Henweir Battlements, so we'll have to see if we get that. Common, and plains. Very good. Morbid Opportunist, Travel Preparations, Edgar's Awakening, and we got another land, so we're getting all the lands out of the way. Haunted Ridge, so this is our third of a series of 5. I'm assuming it's a series of 5. This land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more lands, taps for a black or a red. I'll probably put this in my Prosper deck, because, I mean, why not? Into a Galvanic Juggernaut. Harvest Hand. And there we go. So lots of good stuff so far. Nothing that I'm seeing yet that I would say is high value. Now I'm saying this without looking up anything as I go along. You know, my B-roll footage with the prices is probably going to tell me otherwise, but we will see. I did forget to mention that the value of this at the beginning, I put the MSRP on this was $190, so I'll make sure to put this at the front of the video. And we'll put it also at the back end so we can do some comparison. So, Fiery Temper, Honeymoon Hearse, Shrill Howler. Oh, and then a Gisa and Geralf, the original Necromancers. When they enter, mill 4. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a zombie creature spell from your graveyard. So this is, you're going to want to mill yourself, dump a lot of stuff into the graveyard so that you can cast stuff from your graveyard. Very nice. Into a Smoldering Werewolf, Crusader of Oderic, and an island. Alright. Doing pretty good so far. get through these commons. Subjugator Angel, Blood Tithe Harvester, Lumber Knot, and an Overcharged Amalgam. Zombie Horror, Flash Flying Exploit. When this creature enters, you may sacrifice a creature. When this creature exploits a creature, counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. Okay. So you can use this to stop. So it's basically a counter spell. And countering abilities as well. And triggered abilities. And then if you can flicker it, say with that Deadeye Navigator, so they come back in, so then you can constantly abuse that effect. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. And here is another mythic, and we've got another Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord, but this time with the fancy art. That is pretty awesome. That looks like a vampire lord right there. And then with the statues in the background, crying blood. That's pretty awesome. There we go. Into a Borrowed Hostility and an Aim High. Alright, 4 more packs in this stack. And we've already hit like 3 mythics. That's pretty good. I like that. And they were good mythics too. You know, 2 planeswalkers, even though one of them is the same planeswalker. And the Sigarda. I'm digging it so far. Alright, we've got an Angel's Tomb, Cather's Call, Gyre Reach Bandit, and then a Huntmaster of the Fells. When this creature enters or transforms into Huntmaster of the Fells, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token and you gain 2. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast, last turn transform this creature, and it transforms into Ravager of the Fells, a 4/4 trampler. When it transforms into Ravager of the Fells, it deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker, and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature that player or that planeswalker's controller controls. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform this creature. So it keeps bouncing back and forth. Niblis of the Urn and a Flesh Taker. I kind of like that mechanic better. I mean, I guess it's very reminiscent of Day Night. And they just kind of made this kind of thing. But Day Night, once you trigger it, you got to keep track of it the entirety of the game, so it's kind of tough. Alright, we have an Asylum Visitor, a Noose Constrictor, Mystic Retrieval, Restless Bloodseeker, and another mythic, the Meat Hook Massacre. So I would say this is one of the big chasey cards of this set. So that's fantastic. 2 black and X. When the Meat Hook Massacre enters, each creature gets -X until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 1 life. So that is great. It comes in, you get a board wipe effect, and then you get these secondary effects. That is fantastic. And then another rare, Galvanic Iteration, blue and red. Is it when you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy, and you can flash it back for a blue, a red, and 1. Into an Ancestral Anger. And a Plains. Alright, next pack. Let's see what we got. Can we beat that last pack? Probably not. Lightning Mauler, Mausoleum Guard, Geist Light Snare, Ghoulish Procession, into a Spell Queller. Flash flying for a blue, white, and 1. Flash flying. When this creature enters, exile target spell with mana value 4 or less. When this creature leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So, great way to counter a spell, but when this leaves, they can recast it. Into It of the Horrid Swarm. And a Scorned Villager. And here it is, the last pack of this set of 12. What do we have so far? Alright. Grizzly Ghoul. Butcher's Cleaver. Fury Blade Vampire. Into a Heartless Summoning. Black and 1. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. But creatures you control get -1, -1. I ran this in a Grismold deck because you wanted those plants to die that Grismold created. So you get the benefit of your creature spells costing 2 less, and then it makes everything 1 less power. So those plants would automatically die when they come in, which is a big benefit to you. Into a Valorious Stance and a Thalia Heretic Cather in foil. Look at that. Oh, and her armor is what shines. She does not, so look how she shines. And her eyes, look. Her eyes glow. That's pretty tight. I like that. White and 2 for a Human Soldier. First strike. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter tapped for a 3/2 Human Soldier. And then a Mountain. And that is it. That is the first pack, or first stack of Innistrad Remastered. When we come back from the break, well, I'm going to put up here probably, where we are so far in this corner, some totals. But when we get back, we've got 12 more hot packs ready to go. So hang tight, and we'll be right back. And we are back with our next section of Innistrad Remastered on this episode of Breaking Boxes. I'm Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, and we've already hit some great things. We've pulled 2 Sorin Planeswalkers, 1 in the normal art, 1 in the special art. We've pulled a Meathook Massacre. We've pulled one of the Mythic Angels. We've got a last card of the previous block was a foil Thalia Heretic Cather. So lots of great cards so far. And we are we're just a third of the way through this set. So without further ado, let's jump in to the next set. All right. And here we go. Pack number 1 of this set. This would be pack 13 of the box. Imprison in the Moon. I'm surprised this is dropped in rarity. This is such a great card to really kind of turn some of your opponent's stuff off. Surprised that is dropped in rarity. Alright, Infernal Grasp, Wild Hunger, Biolume Egg, into a Galvic iteration. We've already seen this card. Lets you copy a spell, and then you can flash it back. This is just in the regular art. Into a Cathar Commando, and a Towergeist. Next pack. Hard to get into. I swear. Still would love to see an Emrakul and Edgar Markov. That'd be pretty nice. Lots of great cards in this set. What's the next set that you would like to see a remastered set in? Let me know in the comments. And we've got land number 4. Sundown Past. When this enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. And I think that means I just need the Simic one. So maybe we'll pull it from this box. Into another Huntmaster of the Fells. This in the old border. Looks pretty good in that old style border. Into a Lumberknot. Next pack. And we're already kind of getting at that point where we're starting to see the same mythic and rares. Or rares at least. We have seen repeat mythics with the Sauron. Okay. Spectral Shepherd. Cackling Counterpart. Shrill Howler. Into a Tauren's Fist of the Angels. Green, white, and 1 for a human cleric. Training whenever this creature attacks. With another creature with greater power, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 green-white human soldier creature token with training. So that can get pretty, I mean, on a token-based deck, that could get pretty ridiculous pretty quickly. Into a Splinter Fright. And another rare foil, Kirin Outlaw, 2 red and 1. Human Rogue Werewolf, first strike. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform this creature into Terror of Kirin Pass. Double strike. Werewolves you control have the Menace. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform this creature. I think I like the foiling on Thalia better. Alright. I don't know what it is about these special sets, the packaging on them. The packs are a little thicker, and they're just harder to get into. And we've got a Flesh Taker, Forbidden Alchemy, Aberrant Researcher, and we've got a Thraben Inspector. Into a Memory Deluge, 2 blue and 2. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. I like that. And then you can flash it back for 7. So first cast, look at 4. Second cast, look at 7. You get 2 both times. I really like that. into a Conjurer's Closet. I really like me a Conjurer's Closet. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. I ran this in a Scarecrow Commander deck that I built a while back. One of the first Commander decks I ever built. And, you know, having Reaper King and a Conjurer's Closet and some Scarecrows that I could flicker with this. Yeah, it was not a good time. So, but anything that you've got that you're running with ETB effects, this is a great way to, you know, ramp up those ETB effects. Into a Laboratory Maniac. Oh, I like the art on this. I know it's a uncommon, but that is pretty awesome. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. I will probably take this and put it in my Tulane deck because it's all about fancy cards and cards with alt art. And, you know, Lab Maniac is one of those cards that there's not many arts for. So having a different art for it, that would be fantastic. And then we have an island. Actually, I'm going to set that aside so I don't forget. Okay. And we've got a Demon Male Halberg, Killing Wave, Indulgent Aristocrat into a Rooftop Storm. Oh, you're killing me. You may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for zombie creature spells you cast. All of your zombos are free. That's it. Makes me want to build a zombie deck, I swear. Into an Alchemist's Greeting and Crawl from the Cellar. And have a way to give that shroud so it can't be targeted. Makes me wonder, I know I've got a card called Diplomatic Immunity. Gives things shroud. Can you enchant other things with it? Or is it just enchant creature? I can't remember off the top of my head. Things to look at. Clear Shot, Thermo Alchemist, Blood Mist into Thing in the Ice. Defender 04 comes in with 4 ice counters. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, remove an ice counter from it. Then if it has no ice counters on it, transform it into the Awoken Horror. When this creature transforms into the Awoken Horror, return all non-horror creatures to their owner's hands for a 7/8. That is pretty baller. And you can cast this on turn 2, of course. So that would be pretty awesome. Spellslinger, yep, that'll do it. Because you're in blue. Scorn Villager, Biolumeg into an island. And we're in that next pack. And we've got a Faith Unbroken. Uvenwald Mysteries. Dusk Watch Recruiter. Into a Falconwrath Gorger for a red mana Vampire Berserker. Each vampire creature you own that isn't on the battlefield has Madness. The Madness cost is equal to its mana cost. So if you discard a card with Madness, you can cast it for its Madness cost. Okay. And then we've got a Killing Wave and Cobbled Wings into an island. 4 packs remaining in this set of 12. Join the dance. Lupine Prototype. Drenal Corpse Trawler into a Cryptolitherite. I do like a Cryptolitherite for an Elves deck or a Tokens Matter deck. Creatures you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color. So this can really help you with some big splashy finisher spells or any spells laden with an X value. You can have your creatures help you tap for manas. Into a Crusader of Odric and a Demon Male Halbrick and a Swamp. And we've got, well, if I can get into it, there we go. Ooh, Faithless Looting. That's always a good card. Demonic Taskmaster. Trixidecaphobia. Chalice of Life. Into a Westvale Abbey. Tap it to add colorless. Pay 5 and tap it. Pay 1 life. Create a 1/1 black and white human cleric. Pay 5. Tap it, sack 5 creatures, transform it, and untap it. And it turns into Ormondal the Profane Prince, a 9/7. Flying lifelink, indestructible, hasty boy. Very nice. I like that. That is a fantastic land. So you just need something that's going to make you a lot of creatures that you can sack so that you can get that payoff. Twin Blade Geist, Inspiring Capiton, and then our land. Oh, still 3. There was one hiding that I didn't see. What do we have? Okay. Pack Guardian, Voldrain Ambusher, Uncaged Fury, Ambitious Farmhand into another Conjurer's Closet. This in the silver border. Our other one was in the old border, brown border artifacts. So that's pretty nice to have. Pulled 2. Mystic Retrieval, and a Duel for Dominance, and a Forest. Ooh, have we already run out of the Mythic train? Hopefully not. I don't think we've pulled any mythics from this set, this pack, this set of 12. Lingering Souls, Markov Waltzer, Groundskeeper, into a Decimator of the Provinces, 10 mana for an Eldrazi Boar. You can emerge him for 3 green and 6. You may cast this spell by sacking a creature and then paying the emerge cost reduced by that creature's mana value. When you cast this spell, creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. And it is a tramply hasty boy. So it's kind of like the haste bacon for Raise Runners. And then Crawl from the Cellar. And a Human Cleric. And a swamp. Alright. Last pack from this set of 12. Toss that off to the side. Got a nice pile of trash working. And Cobbled Lancer, Sever the Bloodline, Boarded Windows into another Galvanic Iteration. Allows you to copy your next instant or sorcery spell. This is the third one that we've seen of this. Into a Wild Hunger and a Voldrain Duelist into a Plains. All right, so that is the second stack, packs 13 through 24. 12 packs remaining. We've got them right here, ready and waiting to go. Once again, thank you for hanging out for me as I go through and I open these packs. Here are a couple of more MTG Arena codes. Don't forget to give us a like, give us a subscribe, turn on your notifications so that you know when the next video drops, and help continue to support this channel. Watch all of our videos, and if you've watched them all, watch them again. There are no rules around that. Watch them as many times as you can. All right, and when we get back, the last 12 packs. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a second. And we are back with our last stack, 12 packs of Innistrad Remastered. Once again, I'm Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, going through and revisiting some oldies and goodies from the plane of Innistrad. As a reminder, don't forget to give us a like, give us a follow, turn on those notifications so you know when the next video drops. And here is yet, oh, that's upside down, yet another Magic Arena code just for hanging out with me as we crack open these packs. So again, don't forget to drop us a comment, watch all the videos that we have in our Breaking Boxes playlist. And once you watch them all, go through and watch them again. All right, let's get into this final stack of 12 packs. Starting, I guess this would be pack number 25. Whoa. That I cannot get open. There we go. Finally. Rip it open. Did not want to give it up. Another Faithless Looting. Galvanic Juggernaut. Moonlit Hut. Smoldering Werewolf. And there is our fifth land, Deserted Beach. I think we got one of every of these lands. Enters tapped unless you control two or more other lands. Taps for a white or a blue. Fantastic. Into a Gather of the Townsfolk. And a Butcher Ghoul. And a Forest. So I don't have to go hunting for the extra lands. Still would love to see an Emrakul, maybe a Griselbrand, the Edgar Markov would be nice as well. Still very excited that we pulled a Meat Hook Massacre. That was fun. Oh, and I put that in the wrong spot. I would have been looking for that. Asylum Visitor, Ghoul Tree, Boarded Window, and a Hopeful Initiate. 1 white for a 1/2 human warlock. Training. Pay a white and 2. Remove 2 1/1 counters from among creatures you control. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very nice. Into a Bruna. The Fading Light. 2 white and 5 for an Angel Horror. 5/7. When you cast this spell, you may return target angel or human creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, flying, and the Vigilantes. She now only sees only Emrakul's visions, and she does meld with Gisa the Broken Blade into a 9/10. So we've got half of that. So we're now on the hunt for a Gisa. Oh no! We're going to want that other half. So maybe, if we don't pull it here, maybe we can find it at another card shop. But we'd really like to just pull it. Alright, Voldrin Ambusher. Rally the Peasants. Town Gossipmonger into a Reforge the Soul. Ooh. Each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards, and it has the miracles. You may cast this card for its miracle cost when you draw it if it's the first card you drew this turn. Very nice. Into a Seize the Storm and a Avician Priest. Next pack. Okay. Niblis of the Urn, Grizzly Ghoul, Rise from the Tides, Covetous Castaway. Here is another mythic. Finally hitting another mythic. Necro Duality. Blue and 3. Whenever a non-token zombie you control enters, make a token that's a copy of it. Ooh, that and Rooftop Storm. Ooh, baby. Talk about all the zombies. And Mentor of the Meek. And an Eccentric Farmer. I didn't even know that was in this set. Alright. Gisa's Bidding. Grapple with the Past. Alright. Here we go. Geist Catcher Rig. Sever the Bloodline. Deadly Allure. Second Harvest. 2 green and 2 for each token you control. Create a token that's a copy of it. I ran this in my Rise the Redeemed Token Love deck. Great way to double all the tokens on the battlefield. I mean, it's simple, quick, and only 4 mana. Great way to do it. Into a Restoration Angel. Flash Flying for white and 3. When this creature enters, you may exile target non-angel creature you control, then return it to the battlefield. Another great flicker effect. So, great way to save something of yours that might be being targeted with that flash, or if you just need a blank and an ETB. So, there we go. And then a Tragic Slip and an Ambitious farmhand. 6 packs remain. These have been the hardest packs to get into, I swear. Hamlet Captain, Rune-Bound Wolf, Stensia Masquerade, and a Garruk Relentless. Okay. Green and 3. When Garruk Relentless has 2 or fewer loyalty counters on him, transform him. So if he gets attacked and isn't dead, transform him. You can pay 0. He deals 3 damage to target creature. That creature deals damage equal to its power to him, so quick way to transform him. Or pay 0 to make a 2/2 green wolf creature token. And then transformed, he becomes Garruk the Veil Cursed. +1, create a 1/1 black wolf creature token with Death Touch. -1, sack a creature. If you do, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And then -3, creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Now, I'm assuming that when you flip, however many counters he has here is what he starts with on this side. So, there we go. So, 3 planeswalkers that I have gotten. Ooh, Through the Breach. Another rare. Or is this mythic? That is a mythic. Okay. Red and 4, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste. Sacrifice that creature at the beginning of the next end step. And you can splice onto Arcane for 2 red and 2. So my question is, what does splice onto the Arcane mean? So to answer that, we are going to go to our friend the Googles. Splice onto Arcane. Alright, here we go. I've never used splice onto the Arcane, so let's see what it does. Let's see. Splice onto Arcane. Arcane are a subtype of instants and sorceries. It is now considered to be a classic example of a parasite mechanic. It would be... Well, let me see if I can look this up and get some, at least, rules text or something. Okay, as you cast an arcane spell, you may reveal this card from your hand and pay its splice cost. If you do, add this card's effects to that spell. Okay, so you can cast a spell and then reveal this card and pay only 4 mana to do it. Okay, instead of the 6 mana. So you have to have an additional spell to be able to cast first, and then you cast this in addition. Okay, problem solved. Alright, 6 packs remain. And let's see what goodies we have. A Braid is good. Splinter Fried, Mystic Retrieval, Cryptolith Fragment into another mythic, Mirrorwing Dragon. Flying, when a player casts an instant or sorcery spell that targets only this creature, that player copies that spell for each other creature they control that spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. So if I hit this with a buff, it hits all other creatures I control with a buff. But I think if an opponent targets it, then it affects all of their creatures. So they got to be really careful with that, if I am reading that correctly. So that's kind of cool. Collective Brutality, and then another Smoldering Werewolf. Okay, there we go. I do wish these were easier to get into. Oh, that's a kind of a cool looking zombie token, I do have to say. Oh, it's an XX zombie. Okay. Savage Alliance. Griff's Boon. Intangible Virtue into a Stitcher's Graph. 1 mana for an artifact. Equipped creature gets +3/+3. That's a hell of a 1 mana artifact. Whenever equipped creature attacks, it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Whenever this equipment becomes unattached from a permanent, sacrifice that permanent. Equip 2. Okay, so you get a big buff, but then it becomes unattached. So if you move it from the tapped creature, that creature gets sacrificed. Okay. Geese's Bidding, and then another Braid, and then an Island. 3 packs remaining. And again, I put that in the wrong spot. Blade Stitch Scab, Slayer of the Wicked, Twin Blade Geist into a Mare of Avabruck. Human Advisor Werewolf, green and white for a 1/1. Other humans you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform this creature, and it turns into a Howlpack Alpha, a 3/3. Other creatures you control, that's a werewolf or wolf, get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, make a 2/2 green wolf. And then, if 2 or more spells were cast last turn, transform this creature. Okay. So, several flip werewolf cards. Angel's Tomb into a Spider Spawning. I don't know if we're going to get the Gazella that we need for our meld. But we got 3 packs left. Maybe we'll hit an Emrakul, a Griselbrand, and that. Wishful thinking, right? Another Imprison in the Moon. Oh, Spider Spawning's in the wrong spot. Demon Male Halberk. Morbid Opportunist. Compelling Deterrence, Grizzled Angler into a Zealous Conscripts. Red and 4 for a Hasty Human Warrior. Whenever this creature enters, gain control of target permanent until end of turn. Untap that permanent. It gains haste until end of turn, so you can borrow another player's creature for the turn. Into a Voldran Epicure, an Ecstatic Awakener, and a Mantegna. 2 packs. Somberwald Sage, Thermo Alchemist, Archghoul Thraben, a Young Wolf, Captivating Vampire, 2 black and 1. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. Tap 5 untapped vampires you control to gain control of target creature. It becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. Excuse me. Into another Ecstatic Awakener and a Deranged Assistant. And the last pack of Innistrad Remastered. Let's go. Get through all of our commons. Faith Unbroken, Flesh Taker, Ulrich's Kindred into an Odric Lunaric Marshal. Keyword soup for white and 3 for a 3/3. At the beginning of each combat, creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. If a creature you control has first strike, the same is true for flying, death touch, double strike, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, sculpt, trample, and the Vigilantes. And lastly, we have a Burning Vengeance and a Forbidden Alchemy. And that is it. That is all that we have for Innistrad Remastered. So we will take a look and see how we did. Those values will be coming up here shortly. But some of the awesomeness that we have, we did pull a Flip Garruk Planeswalker. We pulled a Necro Duality. We have Bruna, but we did not get Gazella. We got all 5. Let me find the others. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got all 5 of the lands in the different colors. So we managed to snag all of those. What else is great? 2 Conjurer's Closets, a Rooftop Storm, the Thalia. I think the biggest cards are going to be the Meathook Massacre and the Sorin Imperious Bloodlords. I think these will be the 2 cards. I think these are going to be the best 2 cards of the set. I could be wrong. We'll find out. I'll post this. It's going to be up here on the screen here. That over there somewhere. It'll be posting up. I'll make sure to do that. And I think that's going to be it. That is everything that we've got here. Once again, thank you for hanging out with me as I've gone through and opened this box of Innistrad Remastered. Again, don't forget to give us a like, give us a subscribe, turn on those notifications. As one last thank you, here is one more MTG Arena code. And we certainly thank you for hanging out with us today. Don't forget to check out our other shows, War Council, Arena Antics, Cardboard Review, and again, check out our other episodes of Breaking Boxes if you've not watched them. Once again, I am Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, wishing everybody some happy magicking. We'll see you next time.